Hi friends, it's Alex. Welcome back to my channel. I'm starting my first 12-week year of 2024, so I thought the best thing that I could do for you and me is talk about what the 12-week year is and why it's the secret sauce to reaching your goals. I'm gonna convince you to do it, at least try it. I think everybody should try it, but I'm gonna show you why it's also a more grounded, sensible, and sustainable way to set goals and to really stay true to who you are as you evolve. The person you are right now is not the same person you're gonna be in December, so let's live in alignment with that. The 12-week year is a business book. It's based on, business planning and business goals, but it actually translates really well to any kind of life, especially a creative one. And I actually heard from it from Montel B. She's also on YouTube. I'll link her below as well. But what I like about it is instead of setting goals for a year span, which we know is hard to maintain, it's hard to stay true to, it's hard to stay focused on, and instead of going as small as like a month, which it's hard to really reach big jumps in a month, you would have to give every day of your 30 days, which is also not realistic. You choose 12 weeks. 12 weeks. And the beauty about this is it's 12 weeks at any time. If you cannot start today, if you cannot start tomorrow, you have so many windows of 12 weeks that you can do. But the most beautiful part about it and why it came from a business perspective is you can do for a year. So a lot of people do it in quarters. So if you are somebody who is setting business specific goals, you might want to do 12-week years in the quarter one, in the quarter two, quarter three, quarter four, you know how that goes. If you're like me, you're trying to be a little bit more grounded, you're trying to be a little bit more in tune with the seasons, which I do have a video coming out next, I would recommend that you do it seasonally. So you have a winter 12-week year, a spring 12-week year, a summer 12-week year, and a fall 12-week year. You do not have to start at the equinox, you don't have to start at a certain time. I started this on January 22nd, and that's gonna be my 12-week year until about April 15th. Then I'll start another one whenever I'm ready. But because it's occurring within winter, I'm going to align it with my winter self. And again, we'll talk about that in a future video. But now I'll explain how you actually plan out your 12-week year and how you actually do it. But I just wanna make really clear, you can choose any time. So you can start right now, you can start in a week, you can start in 3 months. Pick and choose. Okay, so let's say you've decided to do the 12-week year. Pick a day to start. And you don't actually have to start on a Monday. You can start on a Sunday. You don't even have to start until a Wednesday. Whatever works with your schedule, that's also the beauty of it. But I like to start on a Monday. So I pick a Monday that is reasonable. Like New Year's goals, you don't have to push yourself to start on January 1st when it's not realistic for you. So pick a good time to start. Then all you gotta do is pop into Google, count on a calendar, and just figure out when 12 weeks finish. So you start on a Monday, you'll end on a Sunday because that last week is inclusive. So that is another week you get to reach your goals. So now you have 12 weeks. Before you break down what this will look like, what I want you to understand is this is you reaching your goals in sprints. That's why I love the 12-week year. It is a sprint. And if you have done any like coding or you've worked and you do sprints, you'll see how productive you can be and how focused you can be when you're really getting nitty and gritty with your goals. I used to do yearly goals and I would actually break them down by month. So I would have these big umbrella goals and then every month would be smaller goals to reach that big goal. It's good in theory, but I found myself just getting really lost. It was really just big goals and I didn't break it up properly. It wasn't the move. This actually lets you pick a goal of a goal of a goal and attack it head on, sprint for it, put in the work, and have something to show for it at the end of 12 weeks, or have a lesson learned and be able to pivot. You can either pick a big goal and a chunk of that goal, maybe like a milestone in the goal. So for me, I have 4 goals that I want to reach this 12-week year. I'm going to be very honest with you. If you really want this to be productive, a good time, a good experience, when you start out, the biggest mistake I did was set too many goals for the 12-week year. Yes, 12 weeks is a lot of time, but it's also not enough time to go after everything you want. So sometimes you should only pick 1 or 2. For me, I just, as you know, I'm a multi-potentialite. I'm multi-passionate. I have way too many things that I want to achieve for me to focus on one thing, and I'll start resenting it. So I have to lean into a healthy balance of, okay, I'm going to go after these 4 goals, but I'm going to pick a very minuscule part of each. Like for example, if my end of the year goal is to reach 40,000 subscribers, let's throw that number out there. My goal for this month is not to reach 40,000. It's not to reach 10,000. My goal for this month is to get a consistent posting schedule and get my new content pillars up and running. That's simple. Because that is actually going to add up. If that's what I achieve in these 12 weeks, imagine where I can go in the next ones. Because this is like the main goal that I need to get done. So that's one of them. That's a little treat for you. That's a little treat. So pick individual small goals. What is realistic for 12 weeks? Then you can kind of decide how many you want to have. Be mindful of your time and your energy. Like for me, I have one that is more about my business because I work on my business every day, so I should have a business goal. I have one for my creativity, which is here on YouTube, and I have one for my health. I'm going to do the 75 hard. I'll have a video about that in the future as well. That is what I'm going to do for my 12-week year. So just break down a few different goals, make them realistic. If you start planning your 12-week year and it already feels overwhelming, make it smaller. A sprint is meant to get you somewhere fast. Make sure it's somewhere that you can get without burning out, but will actually take you so far in the next quarter, the next season, the next 12 weeks, because you getting this done is better than burning out and never achieving anything. So just look for a single step. The next part is where your planner phase is going to come in strong. What you want to do is you want to look at your 12 weeks. You want to look at these goals, however many you picked. What can you do every week to reach that goal? One thing for me is I need to launch my membership. My business membership needs to be launched. So for me, my weekly goals, I wrote down at the end of 12 weeks, what do I need to launch? I broke that all down in a list. How can I do this? By doing just one single thing a week. One thing a week is not that hard. It's really not, but you have to plan for it, because if it's a thought you have on a Saturday night, then yeah, doing one thing a week is kind of hard. But if you have your goals set up that, okay, I'm going to make a resource a week so that by the time I launch, I have like 10 to 12 resources. That is a huge thing, and it's not that hard to do if I plan for it. That's the kind of things I want you to do. Look at each week what you can do to get closer to this goal. Again, it's just another breakdown method. Each week is almost like a sprint. But the powerful thing about this is, let's say you don't get it done in the first week, you still have 11 weeks. You don't have to stress out if you miss a week. You don't have to stress out if you miss 2. You have 12 weeks. That's a lot of time to get things done. And then you get even more granular, okay? I'm talking to the nitty, the gritty, the smallest of grains. I want you to look at your habits in your day. So I'm not saying you have to have like a huge habit tracker, but if I want to achieve these goals, for example, one thing I need to do that I say every time I plan a goal is no snooze. I need my mornings. My job, my career choice, my lifestyle requires my mornings to film. I need to be doing this in the morning. I can't do that if I sleep in. So don't make it too hard that you're never going to keep up with all these habits. Think about the small things you need to do. One of my goals is going to be the 75 hard, so a lot of my habits are going to reflect on that. If you had a goal that was about launching your YouTube or writing a book, then maybe it's just like some brainstorming every day. It doesn't have to be filming every day. Don't make it unrealistic. Brainstorming. Maybe it is getting some vlog shots. Maybe it is watching videos. Make it small and manageable. The idea at the end of this is that you know what you want to achieve in 12 weeks. You know what you have capacity for weekly, and you know what you need to do every day to make sure you're on track. It's about making a clear pathway. It's almost like you're going across a puddle and there's a couple rocks stuck up. You know where you have to jump to get there. If you fall off into the puddle, you're not going to drown, okay? You might get a little wet, a little bit discouraged, a little bit frustrated. You can get back up on the next rock. And this brings us into the best part of the 12-week year and why I think it is the magical answer you're looking for. When the end of the year comes and you didn't reach your goals, you feel like you wasted a whole year. When the end of the month comes and you didn't reach your goals, you feel like you didn't do enough. But when you have 12 weeks and you're really looking at this week to week what you need to do, for one, you can see when it's catching up to you. If you haven't done any of your first 4-week tasks, you can do a check-in. You can do a check-in at 4 weeks. You still have 8 left. You do a check-in, see if you need to change anything, or you can just stick it out and see what happens. And then guess what? When the seasons change, when the 12 weeks change, you have 3 more opportunities to reevaluate. Maybe instead of doing these 4 goals like me, you focus on 1. Maybe it's very granular. Maybe you don't even worry about daily habits. You don't even worry about weekly things. You just have 1 goal you need to do sometime in the 12 weeks. You can make it as small and manageable as you need and scale up, or you can go in full force and scale back. It's completely up to you, and because it's only 12 weeks, for one, it's enough time to get something done. But what I always find reassuring is when I'm off track, if something happens, because the unexpected always does, when I get off track, I know I can start over again very soon, and I know how to plan for it, and then you can start planning and start taking action. I just like the flexibility it gives. It's realistic. It shows you that if you really did break things down into manageable chunks of time, you can get it done. But it also shows you that staying focused is key. And if you lose focus, you can try again. If you're gonna try the 12-week year method this year, I would love for you to do it. If you want me to do a recap of my first 12-week year at the end of this quarter, I will. I'm really excited for it. I think that will happen when I'm on vacation, but I'll film it after. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Like and subscribe, and bye.